Hi,
Hey Mac, how's it going?
I'm good. Thank you.
Nice. So I have your hands. Thanks for sending those to me, and I've loaded those into my database. And I've looked over the questionnaire answers you sent me. I have a few questions about that, and then we can dive right into doing the leak finder. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
I saw in your you said that you want to move up to no limit 200 by the end of the year, right?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will try to help you make that happen. Do you take breaks while you play? We can see in the sessions.
Oh, you mean no? I just go one session and the break.
One long session?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Usually.
Okay. I would recommend breaking that up. Um,
Okay.
so, like looking at this, I mean, sometimes you play 4 hours and 5 hours, right?
Yeah, usually it is running back session. I will play more. Yeah.
Yeah, I know how it goes. That's pretty common, but it's important to take breaks every now and then. Like the way what I do is I play for. Actually, I use a timer. I'll show you the timer I use. There's this website here. Um, I'll, I'll
I see.
I'll send you the link on Skype.
Okay.
Um, so I set a timer. This is exactly what I do, and
Mhm.
it rings a bell, like one bell every 15 minutes and one bell every 30 minutes, and it's just a
Oh,
little. It's like a wake up call, right? To
yeah.
take your head out of the game. And then at
Okay.
30 minutes, I stand up and stretch, and maybe I go to the bathroom or get some water. And then I come right back. I don't leave the tables. Um, and I'll play for either an hour or an hour and a half. I never play longer than an hour and a half. Um, and
Okay.
and if I'm playing a 3 hour day, then I like the best way for me to do it is to play three different 1 hour sessions, and I'll take as long a break as I can between those sessions. Sometimes if I have to get them in quickly, maybe I only take a 20-minute break between the sessions. Um, but it's important that you take a break. If you just play for 3 hours straight, your um, your play will slowly decline, right?
Okay.
So those breaks will, it's like a reset button. It will refresh you, so you'll be. Your goal is to play at in the zone is really what they call it. You want to be in the zone for as much of your play as possible. Or another way of saying that is you want to play optimal poker as much as possible. Let's go right into the League Finder. So I have a lot of numbers on my screen. Don't worry,
Uh,
I'll explain these things.
uh,
Um, it once I start explaining this, hopefully it should be easy to understand.
yeah.
I just need the. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start with pre-flop, and then we're going to go to post-flop. And
Yeah.
my goal with this leak finding exercise is to come up with a prioritized list of what I think are the things that are going to improve your win rate the most, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So as we go, I'll be jotting things down, and I'll come up with a list, and then afterwards, and I mean we may not get to it today, but we'll start. We'll just go down your list, and we'll run filters and pull up hands and work on fixing those things.
Okay.
You see these pop-ups?
Yes. Yes.
This is the Note Caddy Edge. Um, this is
Oh, okay.
so this is something extra that I've purchased, and
Okay.
I like it a lot because, as you can see, there's a ton of information here, right?
Yes. Yes. I can see. Yeah.
So what I'm looking at is um, the next line is call versus three bet. You see that? And
Uh,
so
Call versus. Yes.
CV three bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like you're doing a lot of calling out of position versus a three bet. In other words, you're calling 30%, right? The first thing I'm putting on my list is your call versus 3-bet out of position. So
Too much. Too
yeah,
much.
calling too much out of position to 3-bets. If you, the reason I asked about table selection is if you table select really hard and your tables are full of fish, fish make these silly little 3-bets and you don't want to 4-bet them. So it's okay to call fish 3-bets a lot,
Yeah.
even if you're out of position. So if your games are really fishy, then it makes sense to call more 3-bets. But if your games are hard, then you don't want to call 3-bets. You want to do it very little. So it should
Okay.
definitely be lower. That's why I was wondering about what your games are like. Hands like the strong hands in this range, like ace queen suited, ace jack suited, king queen suited. The more you add down here, the more these top hands get diluted. Does that make sense? So a hand like take ace king. Ace king is what is it? It's 1.2%. So here, let's pull up a calculator because I want you to understand this concept. If you have ace king, if your range is 10%, is roughly 10% of your range, right? Maybe 12% because it's 1.2 over 10, right?
Yeah.
If you tighten your range down to like 7, then 1.2 divided by 7, ace king is now 17% of your range, right? So that's the idea. Like if you cut out a lot of these low hands, then you
Yes.
make your strong hands a bigger part of your range.
Okay. I understand.
And like if you want to crush 200 no limit, one thing you have to learn to do very well is be able to take a flop and compare your range versus your opponent's range, right?
Yes.
So in order to have a strong range versus your opponent's range, you want to keep your calling range very strong. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
So the next number is the 61 is when you don't c-bet, when you miss a c-bet, how much you check fold. So if you don't c-bet, you're check folding 61% of the time, which is not bad. That's better than a lot of regs, but it's a little high. And I don't think it's a question of players exploiting you. I think it's a question of your checking range is like you're probably not trapping players enough. Like I know you in the questionnaire you asked me about 3-bet pots, right? And like you said the spot pocket jacks on queen high board or queens on king high board, right?
Yeah.
The answer is you should be checking those. You should be checking all those. And the reason it's okay to check is because your checking range is very strong. It should be, right? So if you're playing another reg, he can't just go bet every time you check the flop because you have top pair hands, right? You're check raising some monsters, right? You even check call with some draws. So if you have a carefully balanced checking game, then you don't have to worry when you check pocket kings on an ace high board.